Well, guys, as you can see behind me, it is raining again. It's been raining for probably 3 weeks solid. Maybe a day or two it won't rain, and then it rains hard again. We've had like 6 flash flood warnings in the past month, so tons and tons of rain. So I haven't really been able to do anything outdoors, hence the past 2 cooking videos and really not much else. But hopefully this will end soon. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and get into today's video. So today we're going to be going through all of my guns in the order that I got them in. Now, I do not recommend you get your guns in this order. I have learned from my mistakes. But starting out, first one, I did paint this thing just because the all black was kind of bland for me. Also, we get a lot of rust down here in Louisiana. It's very humid, so I like to coat most of my guns with paint. You'll see almost all of my guns are painted. But this is just a 22 Ruger Wrangler. It's a little revolver. Holds 6 shots. All these guns are unloaded. It's I don't remember if it's called single action or double action, but you have to pull the hammer back and then you can pull the trigger. If you just try to pull the trigger, nothing happens. Really, this was good for plinking. I've shot a couple armadillos with it, but with armadillos, you can literally just walk up to them and shoot them. I would not recommend getting this if you're actually looking for anything for self-defense, or if you're looking for any kind of gun that's going to be used for hunting. Really, this is more of a range toy, or if you're kind of getting started into firearms. If I regret any of my guns that I purchased, this is probably one of them, just because it really didn't have much practical use. It's a wall hanger right now. When I do run traps, sometimes I'll use this to dispatch the animal, but in all honesty, it's kind of more of a wall hanger at this point. All right, the next one is a Mossberg bolt action deer rifle. This one's chambered in 30-06. I went to a gun store on my 21st birthday looking to get a handgun, and somehow got talked into getting this, and I didn't even deer hunt at the time, so this gun went completely unshot for probably 2 years, and then finally I decided to actually go out and shoot it. It's not a bad gun. It's a nice rifle. Personally, I have other guns that I'll go over later that I prefer to use for deer hunting. At this point, this one's kind of a wall hanger. I will use it eventually, and if there's ever a time where I take a buddy hunting with me, then he can use this one. But all in all, if you're getting into guns or whatever, this can be a good option. It's definitely cheaper than most of the deer hunting rifles that you can find. I don't remember the exact model on this one. Again, I got this when I was like 21, and I just threw the box away and put it in a closet for years. So it's a good gun, don't get me wrong, but personally I haven't used it that often. I think there are better guns to get when you're starting out. All right, next up on the list is one of my personal favorites, the Mossberg Maverick 88. Pump shotgun, again, it is cleared, unloaded, but this gun has been great. It's fun to shoot. It's been good for hunting, good for like pretty much anything. Now, I did have to get a plug for this because it holds 7 in the tube, 1 in the chamber. For hunting down here in Louisiana, you can only have 2 in the tube, 1 in the chamber. But this is a great self-defense shotgun, home defense shotgun, or for hunting. You're not going to be able to get like super long range on it because it's not a super long barrel, as you can see. But this has been a great purchase. Highly, highly recommend. If you're getting into guns, you need a home defense gun, this is the one to get. First of all, when an intruder comes in, that gets them out before you even have to pull the trigger. That sound is just universally recognized as you walk through that door, you're going to be losing a limb. So this is definitely one of my favorite gun purchases that I made. It was like 250 bucks. I didn't mention the price on the others. The Ruger Wrangler was about 150 if I'm not mistaken. The deer rifle was like 300, and this one is like 250. And in all honesty, or maybe it was 200, something like that. But in all honesty, this one was the first gun purchase that I made that I was like super stoked with. Great deal. I got it on Palmetto State Armory on sale, and it has just been great. I got an Amazon site that's just a little stick-on site, and it's worked pretty well for me. So this is a great gun purchase. If you're getting into guns or you need a home defense gun and you just need one gun to do it all, this is the one I'd say to get. You can take everything from squirrels up to a bear. So great idea. This was the first gun that I got that I actually used quite often. All right, so now we're going into something that's not actually a firearm, but it's still a gun per se. This is an air gun, so it's a PCP, that stands for pre-charged pneumatic. Basically, it's got an air tank right here that you fill up. As you can see, there's a little air gauge, and basically it shoots these beefed up pellets. I don't want to take this out and load one in, but it shoots 25 caliber pellets, and I've used this for most of my small game hunting, and it works very well. It's got good range on it. It's basically a very beefed up pellet gun, and this one's called the Hatsan Flashpup. It's a bullpup. You can sit there. It has these, I believe it's 9-round magazines, and so you can pull it back, shoot, pull it back, shoot, and it's been very good for me. I do have this one painted. I had the other shotgun painted as well. This one's mostly synthetic, and it's got some metal on it, but I like to paint them, first of all, because it just looks cool, but also it helps prevent rust. I did have a scope on here before. I switched to a red dot so I could use my scope on a different gun, but still very accurate, very strong, can put down pretty good size animals. Probably not up to your coyotes or anything like that, but any of your small game, this will cover it. Pretty much anything you take with a 22, it probably will be able to take. Just maybe not some of those higher up things. Just doesn't have quite as much penetration power. So the next 3 on my list are all AR-15s. So I've taken the mags out of them. They are all clear. This one I just spray painted gold when I was first coating my guns, and I didn't want to risk a bad camo paint job, so I just decided to go with this metallic gold, and it actually turned out pretty cool. I've got a pretty cheap optic on here. This one's a Diamondback AR, and in all honesty, this was kind of just made for a range gun. I did eventually decide to go for more of a hunting gun, and then a home defense gun, and then a range gun, but this is just the one that I kind of got first. And these 3 guns actually my grandma got, and she gave them to me, so I didn't actually pay for these. I don't know how much she paid for this one, but it is comfortable to shoot. It's got a nice little stock on it, obviously adjustable, 16-inch barrel, and just pretty much good. The next one that I have set up for hunting. So I've got a ACOG sight, a mounted red dot. I also have a laser on the bottom, the green laser, a foregrip, then a little flashlight that I kind of rigged up. This is actually like a cheap $2 flashlight, and a scope mount that I just put on a little M-LOK Picatinny. None of my guns are really super high dollar. I like to get them cheap and then add on to them over time. I don't have $1,000 to just drop immediately on a gun, so instead I'll get a cheap one. This is a Palmetto State Armory blemished rifle. I think there was some scratch in the metal somewhere, and so it was discounted a couple $100. But honestly, it's done really well. It doesn't have hardly any recoil, feels really comfortable in the hand, and it's just been a really good rifle for me. This is my go-to rifle for all around stuff. If I'm doing some hunting, I probably wouldn't use this too much on deer, just because 5.56 is kind of a little bit on the underpowered side. I know you can take deer, and many people do, but personally I prefer a larger caliber for deer. But if I'm going to go for coyotes in the daytime or anything like that, I'm using this sucker right here. The next AR I have is, again, a Palmetto State Armory blemished rifle, and this one's set up for my wife actually. It's got a laser, red dot, very simple, very light for her, and basically this is just the one that she practices with and that she's gonna have if she ever needs it. So that's my wife's AR-15. All right, now when I went and got those ARs, and I actually went to pick them up from the pawn shop to get my FFL paperwork done or whatever, I saw this one in the window, and I was like, man, I need a handgun. So I looked through a few of their different handguns, and then I picked this one up, and the grip on this thing just felt like a match made in heaven. And so it is cleared. Cat, move it. So I do have a laser dot. It's not charged right now, but this has been really good. It's called a Bul Armory Cherokee. Oh, I forgot again. The prices on the ARs were, I'm not sure about the first one. The other two were like $5 $150, I believe my Mimi said she paid for them. And so they were on the cheaper end, like very cheap for an AR-15. But they've worked really well. None of them have jammed on me. None of them have any problems. But yes, so this is a 9mm. It's a Israeli brand. I'd never heard of them before, but the grip on it was amazing. It's got good stippling on it. If you're in wet conditions, anything, this gun's not going anywhere. But it's been pretty nice. Slides really well, shoots really well, recoil's not too bad. All around, one of my favorite guns. I recommend you don't buy in the order I did. I wish I had gotten a handgun sooner so I could practice with it and train with it. It is a world of difference between shooting a 22 revolver and then shooting a 9mm pistol. Especially when you switch from having to pull your hammer back every time to being able to just pull that trigger for semi-automatic. So definitely a really good purchase. If you're in the city somewhere, you're thinking about home defense or self-protection, get you a handgun quick. Get that before you worry about your AR-15s. Honestly, if my grandma hadn't got me those AR-15s, I'd probably been waiting a good little while to get them. This is definitely good purchase for you when you're getting off started out quickly. All right, this gun is probably my favorite gun that I have right now, just because I have gotten the most kills with this gun over any of the other ones combined. I killed raccoons, possums, rabbits, armadillos, and even coyotes with this thing. I mean, this thing is a beast. It is a Rock Island Armory TM22. I've actually done a quick 1-minute review on my shorts with it. It is great. When you pull that trigger, which again, it's cleared, very light trigger, works really well for me, and there's no kick whatsoever. I mean, honestly, it's a 22 rifle, you're not really gonna expect any, but even my dad, when he shot this, he said, oh my god, like I feel nothing. Like, you pull that trigger and it's like all you hear is a sound, and it's pretty quiet too. But I've got a night vision optic that was pretty cheap on Amazon, as well as the infrared light that came with it. When I had it mounted here, when I'd shoot, sometimes the light would interfere, so I moved it up here, and it's been a lot better since then. Got a cheap little bipod on here for when I'm shooting. I actually shot this thing out of my window, just facing out to where the coyotes were crossing, and dropped one at like 65 yards. I think it was like 67, but somewhere around there. Dropped it with a headshot immediately. I have that video up on my channel as well. But anyways, I got this thing for about $200 on Palmetto State Armory, and it has outperformed pretty much every other gun. I can shoot it at night because it won't wake the neighbors up. So when I'm doing my night coyote hunting, this is the go-to gun. I know it doesn't have the range that another gun would have, but it definitely has the stopping power as long as you place your shots right. And this gun has been very accurate. Definitely, this is the gun I would suggest you get if you're getting your first gun. This gun is great. This gun has never failed me. It has, I think it's jammed like one time, and it's because I was using some pretty crappy ammo, but it runs like a beast. It drops beasts. This gun is just great. So nothing but great things to say about this gun. All right, so next up is the Hatsfield, I forgot what this thing is even called. It's a Hatsfield something, but it's a break barrel 12 gauge shotgun. I'll be honest, this gun sucks. I regret this gun almost as much as I regret the revolver. Only reason I like this one better is because it does have hunting applications, and you know, if my little brother's going to be going out hunting with me or something, I can give him this gun and let him feel the pain in his shoulder. It's just got a plastic buttstock on it. It's wood. It's very light, but the hammer is very hard to pull back. Like doing that one-handed, I thought that it wouldn't work until I sat there and really pulled, and then the release to break the barrel open is tight, and breaking the barrel is very tight. I mean, it's hard to say for you to know it like when you're not holding the gun, but it is so tight. And then even the trigger, which again, it is cleared, the trigger is so hard to pull. This gun, I thought it was on safety the first time I tried to shoot it, and so I sat there, kept fiddling with the safety, and then I finally realized it was on fire. I just had to really pull that trigger, and it kicks like a mule. I do not like this gun. This gun is more of a gun that you give your buddy to prank him if you want him to like shoot a gun for the first time and terrify him for the rest of his life. I would not recommend this gun. I mean, it was dirt cheap. It was like 120 bucks, but I would rather have spent 120 bucks worth of ammo than I've gotten this thing, which is kind of a piece of junk. So take my advice, do not get one of these. They do make break barrel shotguns that are good. This is just not one of them. It's a Hatfield something. I don't know what the exact model is, but it's a break barrel single shot shotgun. Don't get it. Now, this gun I've also done a short on is phenomenal. This is an AR-12 style gun, so it's a AR platform gun that shoots 12 gauge, and buttery smooth. It shoots semi-auto, so again, it's cleared. Trigger is nice on it. I mean, it's a little bit stiffer than I would like, but personally, I'm not really a stickler when it comes to trigger pull strength, as long as it's not super stiff like the Hatsfield. It came with these flip-up sights, and then I just put a little cheap red dot on there. It came with multiple chokes. This gun is great. I love this gun. I love this gun so much that when my grandma saw it, she actually bought another one for me to have for guests to use, so that I don't have to use that stupid Hatsfield. But these are great. They came with 2 5-round mags, which I put plugs in to make them hunting legal. But this gun has the smoothest action. I've never had any issues with it cycling. I had one single shell that I put through that got stuck, which you find that with most semi-auto shotguns. But it jammed one time on me. Aside from that, it's been perfectly fine. And I don't know, I love this gun. This gun is phenomenal. It was like $200 on Palmetto State Armory, so I paid about the same as a Maverick 88. And honestly, I'd pick this one over that pump. The pump looks great, functions great, but this one is just so much better. It just, you can sit there and pop, 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 and it's great. I don't know. The action of that, I just love. It's great. Maybe not as menacing as pulling the pump on a shotgun, but this is a big, lean, mean, killing machine. And so this is gonna be my new hunting shotgun, and it just feels great. It's got a nice bit of weight to it, so I would recommend getting a sling to sling it on. But other than that, this is a great purchase. This one of my top 3 firearms. I think it goes 22, then this one, and then a gun that I'm gonna go over in just a minute. So this is the other one. I got a cheap knockoff EOTech on it, but this is what it looks like coming out of the box, minus the EOTech on it. It came in this black color. I paint mine just to keep them from rusting. My dad used this one time, so I hadn't really seen any action. I might do a video on how to paint your rifles or your guns and use this one as an example, so if that's something you want to see, put it down in the comments. But yeah, this is what it looks like kind of out of the box. I personally like mine to be painted because it helps you blend into your surroundings and also protects it from rust. But let me know in the comments if you like yours to stay straight black or if you prefer them painted. And now, the big boy. This is my most recent collection, and it is a Bear Creek Arsenal BC-10, which is an AR-10. Now, for those of you who aren't into the gun world, AR-10s are 5 ARs less dangerous than the dangerous AR-15s. And that obviously is a joke. This shoots a 308 rather than a 5.56 like the AR-15s, and it is a beast of a gun. Now, I have not been able to shoot it yet because I was waiting on my recoil pad to come in, and if you can't hear right now, it is pouring buckets raining, so I haven't really been able to take it out. But I've got my sight that was on my air gun for a long time, just because this sight actually didn't fit on my AR-15, and so I just decided to save it for a different gun. Got this gun, and it's a match made in heaven. Now, I do have these canted iron sights on here for closer range. I don't see a scenario where I'd really need to shoot anything at close range. And if I did, I probably wouldn't grab this gun, but you know, if I'm out in the deer stand and I got a deer that walks right next to me, then maybe I'll use them iron sights. But this gun has been great. Just the anticipation is killing me of being able to shoot this thing. Bear Creek doesn't send most of their guns with magazines. You have to buy those separately. So I got the magazines from Palmetto State Armory. But this thing, it's heavy, but it is a beast. I just painted this thing like 2 days ago. Gave it that same paint job. I'm not sure if I showed you the paint jobs. It's got this, basically it's just 3 different kinds of camo colors. It's like a green, and then dark brown. And I just kind of use some little foliage as stencils. So I can go over how to do that in a future video if that's something you're interested in. But this thing is great for deer hunting. And spoiler alert, I'm going to be getting a suppressor soon, just waiting on all the paperwork to finally go through. But this thing will be able to mount with my suppressor on it, so I can use that for hunting, and it'll also not upset my neighbors whenever I go and shoot it outside for practice. But yes, this gun is the latest addition to the collection, and probably one that I'm the most excited to shoot, just because I got this thing last week and it has been raining ever since, and I just can't have any time to go out and shoot this thing. And so hoping that the weather will pass. But anyways, guys, which one will be your first pick, or was your first pick? Let me know in the comments. Tell me kind of what your favorites are, and I will catch you guys next time. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe, all that jazz. But most importantly, remember, I don't know, I got nothing. I thought I was gonna say a funny tagline at the end.